Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. The theme of this episode is updates only. I think I'm going to start doing these a little more. I don't know. Let me know how you feel about them, okay? So let's get into it. This was posted in Relationship Advice subreddit and the title is My boyfriend, 31 male, is going away for all of Memorial Day weekend to spend time with his friend, 31 female, in a cabin alone. Looking for advice on a triggering situation that feels all too familiar. My ex, 25 male at the time, and I, 25 female at the time, started as friends at work, and our relationship was great. He was my best friend. But issues came up with his longtime female friends. They would say, I love you, sit on each other's laps, and touch each other in ways I felt were inappropriate. Despite expressing my discomfort and asking him to set boundaries, he couldn't. So I messaged the women myself out of frustration, which blew up the situation. Fast forward, my current boyfriend, 31 male, and I, 29 female now, also started as close work friends and developed a strong mutual relationship. We've been friends now for 8 months, officially dating for 4 months. He's a kind, giving person and sees serving others as part of his faith, which I admire. But a situation with his female friend, Olivia, 30 female, is bringing back those same feelings of being put second. Olivia, who lives in another state, my boyfriend's home state where he moved from almost a year ago, and knows about me, invited herself for his birthday weekend, this Memorial Day weekend, and booked a cabin just for the two of them, Friday to Monday. She's shown no interest in meeting me, and though I was initially supportive, I now feel excluded and confused. He's said multiple times that he doesn't even want to go, that he feels trapped, suspects she might have romantic feelings, and wouldn't normally hang out with her this long. But he's going anyway because he feels bad. She has chronic health issues and recently lost her dog. I'm angry and sad. I don't expect to be the center of anyone's universe, but I can't understand why he'd prioritize someone he doesn't even seem close to over me, especially when I've been clear about how this impacts me. I want to be understanding and supportive, but I also want to feel respected and prioritized. How do I approach this without trying to control the situation or sacrificing my own emotional well-being? I'm sorry. Your boyfriend should suit the fuck up and say, hey girl, actually, I have a girlfriend. There's no universe in which it's appropriate to go on a trip with another female and without your girlfriend, especially when you're saying you don't even want to go, and especially when you're saying she might have romantic feelings for you. What is actually, is your brain, is it functioning correctly? Because that is, I'm like, actually so mad for this girl. That's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful. Not only is the girl being so disrespectful, she knows that he has a girlfriend and isn't even inviting her. That's so rude. The boyfriend is also being extremely disrespectful by not talking to his friend about this and being like, hey, actually, it's really not okay for you to book a trip for just the two of us when I actually have a girlfriend and you're not even inviting her. So sorry, but I actually will not be able to attend this cabin trip that you have planned for us. Weekend getaway, romantic couples getaway. Like, what the actual fuck? Ugh. Okay. There's a mini update in the comments from the next day. It was in response to a commenter saying she's really stretching for excuses for him. And she said, so I just got the diagnosis from the doctor. It turns out that I actually suffer from a chronic condition called delusion. And then there's an update May 24th, 2025, day after the original post. And the update says, I offered potential solutions. I offered compromises. I was clear with what exactly was bothering me and that I would never put him in this position. I told him he would be so incredibly hurt, and rightfully so, if I did this to him. I told him he could decide for himself what he wants to do. And I told him that I wouldn't be tolerating this from a partner. He acknowledged and agreed that everything I was saying was true. And then he went. Because, quote, He wants to get out of the habit of being so flaky and, quote, made a commitment, so he has to go. I texted him that I'll always love him, now only as a friend, like I told him from the very beginning. Now I'm not even sure I can or want to. Love is a choice. The opposite of love is indifference. And he's all but told me he's indifferent to me both as a partner and as a friend. Thanks for the tough love, Reddit. I'd rather be angry at him, at myself, for not seeing this coming, than be sad while he feels absolutely nothing. Edited to add, yes, I ended it. I can't even think about him or the situation without being angry. I look forward to when the anger turns into indifference. Yeah, I mean, goodbye. This man deserves absolutely 0% more of your attention and your effort, your relationship. Like, he deserves 0% of you. Drop him and never speak to him again, not even as a friend. To be so inconsiderate of someone's feelings, especially your own girlfriend. And yeah, they were only dating for 4 months, but like still, the beginning of your relationship should be the easiest part of your relationship, really. It should be the easiest, easygoing. Obviously, he would, any other relationship, it would be out of the question to do this. Even within the first 1 day of dating, if I just started dating someone yesterday and they told me, oh, by the way, my best girlfriend, who actually might have romantic feelings for me, booked a cabin weekend together, just the two of us, and I'm going. And I don't want to be flaky, and I already told her I would go, so I'm going. Yeah, that'd be the end of that relationship for sure. There's no questions asked, no doubt about it. 0 excuses for that type of behavior in a relationship. He's actually really, like, that infuriates me because it's something that's like, he's just acting like he doesn't care. And the worst thing ever is when someone is just so unbothered by a situation that he's just like, what? Like, I'm going, sorry, but I'm going to go anyway. I'm that's just, you're going to have to deal with it. Okay, some of OOP's comments. Someone said, good on you, OP. Did he respond to your text? Sorry, but there's no way what he did was the right choice. He dismissed your feelings completely. He never gave a crap. And OP said, he very ignorantly replied, quote, does this mean you're ending the relationship? And then patronizingly said, quote, I admire you for putting up your boundaries. It's more than I've certainly done. And then the commenter said, why would you love this asshole even as a friend after he did this to you? Just go no contact and forget this person. He doesn't care about you at all. OP said, in between sending that and now, he replied with nothing but patronizing support for my ability to set the boundaries he couldn't. He fully acknowledged what happened and responded with indifference. That's all since made it impossible for me to want anything to do with him. And then someone said, really just cheating on you full on in front of your face, huh? What a POS. OP said, I speculate he feels content because he didn't lie about anything. And then someone said, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He can't say no to a holiday weekend getaway because her dog died. Next, it will be he couldn't turn down her offer to bang all weekend because she was sad about her dog. Tell him to enjoy his holiday weekend, but after the holiday, he'll need to find himself a new girlfriend. I spent way too much time married to someone who prioritized helping/pleasing other people and putting me on the back burner. It will never get better. OP said, I'm laughing even admitting this, but my last ex, his friend's dog had also just died. I think I need to start being more observant about whether my future partner's friends have any dogs that might be on the brink of death. For real. Like, I'm actually shook that people like this exist and think that that's an okay thing to do. This man truly is like, oh, so you're ending the relationship? I really respect you for putting up your boundaries. No. You can fuck off. Truly. Respectfully, fuck off. The title of the next story is, Am I the asshole for refusing to buy my boyfriend's daughter a gift and silencing his notifications while I was away on a business trip? Apologies in advance for the long post. I, female 32, went on an 8-day business trip to Japan. I work as an external consultant for a company. This would be a visit to scale our services. Me and 3 other colleagues would visit, but we would be at the same site for only 2 days until we were spread out to other areas. I was very excited until I told my boyfriend, Brian, male 38, of 8 months. His reaction wasn't very positive. I asked what was going on, and he said he was spaced out because of situations at his job, but he assured me everything was fine. Days later, he asked if I could take him. This caught me off guard, and I said I needed to think about it. And then he said he would want his daughter to come along. I understand his point. She's 17 female, loves anime, and has impressive knowledge on some very niche characters. But also, I have my own kids, ages 4 and 5, and I would rather share that breakthrough with them, although realistically talking, bringing them would be unprofessional. My accommodations were paid for by the client, and that I had already confirmed. I got a very nice accommodation, but it was definitely booked for a single traveler. My colleagues had other rooms. Bringing his daughter would require a separate bedroom or a suite. I would not go back to cancel on the accommodation or ask for a larger space, which is unthinkable, or do anything to mess up the schedule. When I told Brian, he said I should be able to ask for some changes. I also realized that he wasn't ready to pay for any of this since he said he would reimburse me later. I'm financially okay, but the whole idea of this trip is to make more money, not to spend it, and potentially be unable to recover it. Also, this was never a vacation or anything, and he said things that showed me he didn't understand/believe that me and my team and I were on a tight schedule. I could surely spend some time with him and his daughter after work, but while bringing them at another time and not in that situation. I didn't ask the client at all because I was embarrassed. Also, I began to worry about his sense of humor. It's not like I've mastered Japanese business etiquette, but I took the time to learn, and Brian sometimes does things that could get him in trouble. We would be having dinner with our client and colleagues, and I could either have him stay at the hotel, which is not a great way to treat a partner, or bring him along if that was permitted. Awkward, especially if it messed up the accommodation schedule. When I candidly expressed this concern, he got extremely pissed off and gave me the silent treatment. This stressed me out, and I told him. I left for the airport while he was still not talking to me. We talked only a few times while I was abroad. His daughter did not reply to any of my messages. I don't know if he falsely told her that she was getting an early high school graduation present, the trip, or if she was just mad at me. I got a hold of a bunch of plush anime characters and took a selfie asking if she liked it. No answer. About 1 or 2 days before I flew back, he started texting me with requests. He wanted me to get X, Y, and Z, this and that, for his daughter and for his nieces. I got very angry because she didn't even reply, but he had no problem asking for more and more stuff, and that put me off. I told him that his daughter never replied to any of my messages, and he didn't say anything about it. I ended up silencing his notifications and buying presents only for my family. When I got back, all I wanted was to spend time with my kids, since I've never been away from them. I kept putting off seeing Brian until last Friday when we met for pizza, and he looked uncomfortable. He said I let his daughter down by allowing her to think that she was getting the plush toy, and was also in disbelief when I confirmed that I didn't bring her anything. I told him that I didn't think it mattered since she completely blanked me out. We had a back and forth, but there was no resolution. I feel more lost than when this whole thing started. I feel like he thinks a gift for his daughter was the solution to everything, and I disagree. I'm doing my best to create a good future, and I'm a bit on the fence about continuing this relationship. I care about him and his kid, but I'm afraid of being used or dragged down, and the way he pressured me made me really uncomfortable. I'm also a bit hurt because I had built a relationship with his daughter, and not getting a single reply to my messages is honestly just a bad look. I'm tempted to think that she's either angry because I didn't agree to bringing them along, or that maybe he told her to ignore me. I'm planning on ending things because I need clarity, but also maybe I'm being unfair. I think there's the possibility that he got overly excited and got carried away, but I know he will likely be unable to pay me back. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. It's a business trip. It's not a vacation. I'm not bringing you. I'm going on a business trip. Period. Point blank. There should be no argument. There should be no, you should ask for this. You should ask for this. No. I'm going on a business trip and I'm dealing with business. I'm not having my company pay for you to go on a vacation and your daughter to go on a vacation and then leaving my 2 kids at home. What? If you want to take your daughter to Japan, you can buy the flights and the rooms. Not really sure why any of that even happened, to be honest. Not really sure why he thought that was an expectation of her, and I'm not really sure why he would be mad at her. Also, ignoring her the whole time, and then right before she's leaving, telling her that she needs to bring home X, Y, and Z. You're not getting anything. Maybe if you were, I don't know, nice and like a human and would respond to me and talked to me and wasn't pissed off at me, then I would have thought, oh, let me get this. Like, I know that he'll like this and she'll like this, so I should get this. You ruined that by ignoring me the whole time and then just expecting that I'm going to bring back a bunch of stuff for you. Especially when the reason that he's mad at her in the first place is ridiculous. It's not like she had anything to make up for. She really didn't do anything in the first place. So, what?
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
Okay, there's an update the next day. Update, thanks to everyone for their advice and input. I just wanted to clarify about the plush toy incident. His daughter and I used to spend time together, some afternoons after school while he was at work. I did give her spontaneous gifts that she enjoyed. We would email and text each other during her time with her mom. They have joint custody. When I sent the toy picture, I wanted to know if it was up her alley. I would have bought it if she said anything like she liked it, but I got the silent treatment instead. I know some of you think I was wrong for not bringing her anything, but part of my decision to leave him comes from feeling like they acted like an exclusive clique where others can't be accepted unless they give to them. She left me on scene and left me asking, hello, like an idiot. We broke up last night. He wanted to come to my place, but I didn't allow it. I drove to his place instead and delivered 2 packages that had been delivered at my P.O. box and told him that I would return any mail or package addressed to him from now on. I didn't get out of my vehicle. The conversation was very short, but very sour. I told him that he acted too greedy and conceited for me to feel any interest in prolonging the relationship. He tried to explain that his daughter was hurt because he had her hopes set on the trip, but I said this was a lesson for her so that she learns to work for her own things when she becomes an adult, instead of piggybacking her way. And also that this is on him as a father. I took off to avoid more back and forth. I asked him never to contact me again and blocked them both. I already changed my locks and changed all of my streaming passwords, etc. I don't know who was saying that she was rude for not getting her a toy, one of the plush toys. You didn't respond. You don't get it, okay? You didn't respond to any of my text messages. You ignored me. You don't get a present. I don't really see how anyone would ever think that was rude of her or was wrong of her to do. The top comment says, only 8 months in and he's already acting like that. At least he didn't bother hiding his true self for too long, thus not wasting too much of OOP's time. And it's refreshing to see an OOP who takes no shit. She couldn't have done a better job at ending things. Cleanly severed ties. Honestly, I applaud this girl actually because she really did, like, she made her decision and she stuck with it, and she was like, no, I need to think about how he's acting and make my decision and then break up with him and block him after that. Like, that's a great way to stand up for yourself and set your boundaries and know that you're not going to accept bullshit in a relationship. This commenter said, the man pressed his luck too quickly, luckily for OOP. And then someone said, thankfully for OOP, that ex couldn't keep the mask on until intertwined in marriage. I bet he's pulled this shit before and gotten away with it, at least for a little while. I hope this was an eye-opening experience for him, if he has the capacity for self-reflection. The eye-opening experience. Make sure his partner is more invested in the relationship before pulling another stunt like this. People tend to overlook the red flags when they've been with someone longer if they've been a decent partner to them because, quote, they've never acted like this before. That's true, actually. Especially 8 months into a relationship, like, you can't be that invested at that point, especially when you're 32 years old and you're like, you fully know what's right and wrong in a relationship. You're not a naive, like, 20-year-old anymore. Yeah, usually, for the most part, you can't get away with acting like that. And then him being 38 and acting that way, acting like a little spoiled brat, is actually so weird to me. Okay, the title of the next story is, will I be the asshole for canceling my sister's wedding because it was my wedding first? I was meant to get married on the 1st of February, which was mine and my ex-fiance's anniversary. We ended the engagement shortly after the new year because he cheated on me. The wedding was initially planned with just my money, but was very low-key, and my parents asked if they could put up some additional money to make the whole thing a bit bigger. By the end, about 60% of the wedding was paid for by me and 40% my parents' contribution. My ex and I agreed that I would pay for the wedding while he covered the honeymoon. My ex left me to deal with canceling the wedding as his money wasn't involved, and I turned to my mother and sister for help because I didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to call vendors and venues and whatever else and cancel everything. My sister is engaged and helped me with a lot of the wedding planning. Next thing I know, my mother and sister are asking me if I wouldn't mind my sister just taking my wedding. Every part of it, from the venue to the cake and everything in between. The sole difference will be the wedding dress, and even then, she said if she can't buy off the rack, she might have to get mine tailored to fit her instead. I called off my engagement less than 3 weeks ago. I am an effing mess. I reached out to my family to help me cancel the wedding, and my sister is planning to take it over instead. My sister has rung round our family, explaining that she's taking over before she even told me this. They are all attending. Her fiance has contacted his family and given them the date he will be getting married. I found all this out today. She asked me if I was okay with this, like she hadn't already arranged everything, and I told her to go F herself. I have until the 23rd to cancel things and get the money back. There's a couple of things where I won't get money back at this stage, but over 2/3 of it is still refundable. The money will be refunded to the card it was paid by, so both me and my parents will get the correct amounts back. Everything is shut right now, but it's the 21st tomorrow. As I've not been in contact with these companies and it's my name on all the contracts, I have full power over this wedding. My sister said she'd pay me back eventually, but knowing her, I'll never see that money again. Will I be the asshole if I rung round everything and canceled? Okay, at first I was like, you know what? If I'm not going to get all the money back, I would rather my sister pay and just pay me all the full amounts so that I could get my money back. I do think that it's very messed up for them to just immediately be like, after she gets cheated on and goes through a traumatic situation, hey, I'm actually going to take over your wedding on the exact day, place, cake, everything. It's actually going to be mine now, and I might even wear your dress as well. That is traumatic. Sorry, I'm not going to be attending that wedding if it's going to be literally my wedding that was supposed to happen with my cheating fiance. That is extremely messed up to me. But while I was reading this, I was going back and forth in my head a little bit because I was like, you know what? I would rather get full money back, like 100% of my money back by my sister than have to pay and only get like half of a refund back because I want my money. I want my money back. Thank you very much. But obviously she's saying that, and I don't even know actually fully if that would actually be how I felt. I'm sure that if my sister was like trying to take over my entire wedding after I was getting cheated on and 3 weeks after my engagement ended and I was supposed to be getting married, I would feel a lot differently because I would be a lot more emotional and I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, you don't even give a shit about me and my feelings. You're just caring about yourself and what your wedding and thinking about your wedding. It's like, hello, I need some tender love and care over here. Yeah, then her saying that her sister's not going to actually ever pay her back, that puts the nail in the coffin for me. And I'd be like, absolutely not. I'm canceling everything. You guys can go plan your own damn wedding and leave me out of it, perhaps. I actually don't even want to be involved because that's just so rude of her to do, especially before even asking her, just like automatically assuming that she's going to get this wedding now. No, ma'am. Unless you want to pay me all that money up front right now. That's the only way that I would do that. But then I probably would be so pissed at her because I'd be like, I can't believe you did that. You took my wedding. And so I don't know. I get why she's mad. And I think she's not the asshole at all if she just went and canceled everything. She has every right to do that. And I think she should. Okay, some of the relevant comments. OOP said to a deleted comment, she wants me to be her maid of honor, so I'll be standing up front in the dress that was meant for her while she stands a few feet away in the dress that was meant for me. And then Dr. Beaver said, I'm sick to my stomach thinking about you having to not only watch but participate in the wedding day you planned. I'm shocked that any person would think that this would be okay, let alone multiple people. OOP said, my family aren't exactly the most emotionally intelligent people, to be honest. And Misfit said, she's wearing your dress, the gall of your family. So many internet hugs from Minnesota. The internet is on your side in this. Good grief. OP said, she says if she can buy off the rack, she will, but the wedding is in 10 days and we're the same size. So if she has no luck, she'll be borrowing my dress. Wait, so they're taking your date too? I just assumed that they were going to move the dates so that you could still keep the deposit and not lose money. Sheesh, not the asshole. Cancel that mess. OP said the whole thing, including my date, which me and my ex actually chose because it was our anniversary. So that's lovely. Yucky. Someone said, does your sister hate you? Is she trying to be hurtful? Will you please show your family this thread so maybe they get some sense knocked into them? No, for real though? Not the asshole. Your family's horrible for not clearing it with you first. Your wedding fell apart due to your ex cheating on you, and everyone's first thought was to let your sister take your wedding without taking your feelings into account. That's beyond effed up. You do you, and sorry about your situation. When I asked what the F they were thinking, my sister actually said to me, it's not like he died. Like cheating was the reason they chose to do this. No. These people are heartless. This is the update. It's 2 days later. Update, I talked to my sister and explained how upset I was and how hurt this made me feel, and she said that this was a good thing, and it would be therapeutic for me to see good come from bad. I said that's really not what it's feeling like on my end, and to me it feels like I got cheated on a month before my wedding, and my sister said she would cancel everything for me, and then decided that getting married in my dress in the venue my ex and I picked out together on my anniversary date, and this did not feel good. I said if she wanted to buy the wedding dress off me, then I needed full payment in full for my 60% by the 23rd, and I wanted to switch out our names on the contracts. She said she was hoping for closer to a payment plan, where she paid me back 50% of the 60% I put down in monthly installments over the next 10 months. She wanted to pay me back 5% per month for 10 months, and I still wouldn't get all my money back. I've made calls and canceled everything. Everything was paid for by me, and my parents' money paid primarily for upgrades to the things that I'd already bought. The money will be refunded to whoever paid for it, so myself and my parents will all get the correct money back. However, with some, like the caterer, we've lost the deposit entirely. With some, like the venue, they kept part of the money, average 50%, but some kept more and some kept less. And the baker, who was a family friend and hadn't started on the cake yet, they completely refunded it. I think the fact that I was open that the wedding was off because he cheated made them feel bad for me and probably made a few of them more lenient on refunds. I didn't just bring it up for the sake of it. Most of them asked if I'd want to reschedule. On the whole, I've gotten a little over half back, which is not as much as I thought. Really annoying thing is that I put these cancellations through on the 21st, and if I'd done on the 18th, 2 full weeks noticed, I would have gotten more, but they waited until the 20th to tell me. The dates are now open. The plans are now there. If she wants to rebook everything in her name, she's welcome to. She helped me with an F ton of planning, knows the details better than I do, and she can easily rebook the exact same thing and will probably be doing the vendors a favor considering how close we are to the big day. Some refunds will be instant and some will take a bit of time. The longest is 2 weeks. And I'm no longer going on my honeymoon, so once all the refunds have come through, I might book a week away somewhere. Not sure what's happening with my sister, mother, family, but in total, I would have gotten back more from my sister than I would from the venues. But it would be a year wait on her repaying me versus a few weeks on the venues. Currently drafting a Facebook post to tell the family what happened without me looking like a total bitch. I have a feeling they've already guessed what went on, but only one way to make sure.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
No, having someone tell you what is going to make you feel better about a traumatic situation that you are going through is actually the most infuriating thing in the world. I would be so pissed off. Like, girl, you don't know what's right for me. You're not going through this situation. You are taking this in your own selfish little grimy little fingers and just trying to act like you're doing this for the betterment of my feelings. You're not. You're doing this because you don't want to have to plan a wedding again and you don't want to have to pay for everything. 5% a month for 10 months and you're not even going to pay her back for everything? Absolutely not. You can't afford this wedding, clearly. You're not able to afford this wedding. So why do you think that you deserve to have this wedding? Ugh. Yucky. Obviously, this family doesn't care about anyone. They only care about themselves. Especially this sister. She doesn't give a shit about the fact that her poor sister, I don't know if it's a little sister or older sister, but her poor sister is going through a traumatic event. Getting cheated on weeks before your marriage is so insane, and that's going to be trauma that you're going to be working through for so long. You can't just get over it, and it's not therapeutic to attend the wedding that you were supposed to be getting married at. That's actually terrifying. I would rather get my toenails plucked off one by one. The top comment says, "Oh, thank God. For a second, I thought we were going to discover the sister was marrying the ex. I think I've been on this subreddit too long." And then someone responded, "It would be a complete telenova by then. The only thing missing would be sister shows up in a wedding dress the day of OOP's wedding, declaring the groom got her pregnant with twins." Well, I mean, at least she didn't want to borrow that too. She wanted everything else, though. I can't imagine wanting to get married at someone else's venue with their flowers and food and arrangements and dress. If money is tight, just get married at the courthouse. Most of the fun of my wedding was getting to pick everything from the invitations to the dress and the songs the DJ would play, among others. No better way to start a marriage than borrowing your sister's defunct ceremony, including her dress, because it's not like the wedding dress has emotional meaning or anything. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something new is a tradition. But borrowing the whole dang wedding is really something else. No, something blue. Blue. Okay, well, that is the end of the Storytime segment. We're going to move on to the advice segment. If you ever want unprofessional advice from me, there is a link in the description, and it's going to be a Google form where you can leave all of your details. If you ever feel, funky, you can call and leave me a voicemail at 561-264-7017. This advice question says, "Please help. My friend is not at all who I thought they were." Trigger warning, essay. I don't know if you can read about this on your channel, but I really need advice. I, female 26, have a friend I've made within the last couple years, also female 26. She and I are very close and formed a friend group who is all close and hangs out fairly often. Celebrate birthdays and promotions together, get-togethers for drinks and life updates. We all worked together at a shitty job for a while, but have all moved on to better things. We've gone on road trips and had sleepovers together, just giving a true, genuine friend group. I feel like I had met my people, but recently I found out information that could change everything. I was anonymously sent a court document about one of my friends in our friend group. It shows that she was tried in court for SA/grape of a minor a couple years back. She pled guilty and her charges were lessened. The victim was a child, and she was the social worker on the child's case. She abused her power and took advantage of the child. The evidence is all there. My world is rocked, and I only shared this with one other friend in the group. I have been processing this for the last week. I don't know what to do. I know writing this what the obvious answer is. Drop her as a friend, and I plan on doing that, but I don't know how to do this without stirring the pot and informing the rest of the friend group. I'm worried about blowing up the friend group and about any potential negative responses from the other girls. I've thought about anonymously sending the documents to the other girls so that no one is at fault for spreading the information, but I just don't know what to do. I'm devastated to learn that my friend is not who I thought they were, and they participated in such a disgusting crime. I'm grieving the person I thought they were and the friendship we had, but also wondering where I go from here. How do I inform the other girls? I can't fade away from the friend group or not invite her without saying anything. The other girls would inquire anyways. I've seen situations like this in the news or in my local community, and the answer is always simple, easier said than done. But now, being on the inside of one of these experiences, it really messes with your head mentally. Do I send an anonymous message to the girls? Do I pull the other girls aside for a meeting? Do I just fade away from the friendship and the group activities? The other girls don't know yet, and this will change everything. Well, I think your friends definitely deserve to know. So whether you pick to send them an anonymous message or pull them aside and talk to them as a group and tell them, you definitely have to tell them. But what I would say is if you are most comfortable and you feel like you will totally be okay with just sending the anonymous message, then I would do that. Because I think really what it comes down to is like what you're most comfortable with. But I would do that if you're most comfortable with that. But at the same time, like I've had very close friendships in a friend group, and I feel like I'm very, como se dice, outspoken. I'm pretty outspoken. So I feel like for me, for the most part, if I found this out and I was in a friend group, I would most likely be probably calling the other girls and being like, hey, can you guys come over? I really need to talk to you about something. And I would be telling them. But obviously, I'm not in your friend group and I don't know the relationships between you and these girls. And I don't know how comfortable you are with them. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, that's also totally fine. I think, in my opinion, I think it's totally fine to not be comfortable with that because it's really all based on your friendships with these people. Also, maybe talk to the other girl that you told about this information and ask her what she thinks is the right thing to do. I mean, I'm sure you've already kind of consulted her about that or asked her about that situation, and maybe she doesn't know either. Yeah, I think it really just comes down to what you're more comfortable with. At the end of the day, they definitely deserve to know that information, and obviously, you're not going to be friends with her anymore. I would not be friends with her anymore either. That's so insane. Oh my gosh. Like, I actually can't believe that she is a social worker. That's so, so, so terrifying and sad because that's just something you see, like, that's just something you see in a movie. Like, I see that in SVU all the time where these social workers are like taking advantage of the kids that they're on the case for, and it's like a social worker is literally supposed to be helping these kids that are already in abusive situations, and then they take advantage of that and put them through another abusive situation with a person that is supposed to be helping them. How do you think that's going to affect the child? They're never going to be able to trust anyone ever again because they can't trust the people that are put in their lives. They can't trust their family members or whoever was abusing them in the first place. And then they also can't trust the authority figures that are supposed to be helping them through this. That would be such a mind fuck. That'd be so mind boggling. I can't even imagine what that poor child had to go through and had to endure. Yeah, this girl deserves no friends. She deserves no friends at all. So I really hope that once your friends find out about this, they stop being friends with her as well. Because no, that's absolutely not okay, not acceptable in any sense of the word. But I hope that helps even a little bit. I always say that I hope that helps even a little bit. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Genuinely, that's so terrifying to find out. I'm actually I'm very curious to know who sent you the documents. I know you said they're anonymous, obviously, but I'm very curious as to who would have sent you those documents. And I wonder why they chose to send them to you and not to everyone else in the group. Be like, because I would love to be like, hey, anonymous, can you actually send those to not just me? Can you actually send them to everyone in the friend group so that I don't have to bear this responsibility? Thank you very much. That is the end of the advice segment. I don't really have much to say, but I do have something to say. And that is that I know I'm crazy for this, but I'm starting another podcast, okay, by myself. And it is called Ghosts on Tour. It's basically going to be a podcast where it's only going to come out once a week, though, because I already do this so often that I don't really have much time for another thing. But I feel like it helps me because, I don't know, I enjoy doing the research and learning about ghost stories and stuff like that. But anyways, I didn't even explain to you what it was. Called Ghosts on Tour, and I'm basically going to be like traveling the globe, not really, metaphorically traveling the globe with you guys I'm going to be going to different states in the United States. I'm going to be going to different countries, just any like hotels, Airbnbs, or travel destinations or landmarks that have haunted stories tied to them, obviously true stories. So, yeah, I thought that would be a really fun idea. Like, you know, travel the world, ghosts on tour. The first place that we're starting is in Florida, since I'm from Florida. So, the first episode is going to be a hotel that's in Florida, a couple hours away from me. And so I'm excited about that. I already filmed a couple episodes. They're going to come out on Friday. I actually can't think of when this episode is coming out, but I think this episode is actually coming out on Thursday. No, probably this episode will be out on Friday, I think. So Ghosts on Tour will be out by then. I'm going to try to link it in the description. Hopefully I remember, but I'm really excited. I'm going to probably drop 2 to 3 episodes on Friday, and then from then on it will be only 1 episode on Fridays. So if you like ghost stories, I would love it if you joined me over there as well. I'm crazy, actually. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this, but obviously I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stick to my guns. So I'm excited, though, to do it, and I already filmed a couple episodes, like I said, and they were really fun to film. Obviously, like, my first few videos, I don't know if the structure is going to be good or not, but I'm going to try to improve each episode, so you guys will be learning with me, and you guys can give me some constructive, nice comments if you want, and let me know what might make things more interesting or just better. I don't know, interactive. I don't know, but I'm excited about it. And I feel like it will be a nice use of creativity, because I don't really to be creative for these episodes, because it's just me reading and me saying like what my opinions are. So I'm excited to have like a little project that I can like work on. I already did most of the branding and all that good stuff, which I'm excited about. So yeah, if you want to join me on that world tour, Ghosts on Tour, I'm so excited, honestly. Like, I was really enjoying researching all of these history cases, or haunted history cases. I don't know. I think it would be so cool, though, if I ended up, which this is crazy of me, because like, what? I'm probably, I don't know, maybe in the future, if this really took off, I could go around and like travel to these places and do videos at these haunted places, because most of them are going to be like hotels and places that you can stay, or near places that you can stay. And I think that would be really cool. So I'm manifesting that for myself. Obviously, this podcast is always going to be here as well, every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and on Saturday on Patreon, which the Patreon link is in the description, at 8 a.m. as well. So this is always going to be here for you. And you know that I literally never miss a day posting, and I never, ever will, okay? I'm literally never going to miss a day of posting. Like, if I tell you I'm posting on these certain days, I'm posting on these certain days and these certain times. So you better believe it. But yeah, if you could support me, that'd be great. But obviously not everyone loves ghost stories. So if you do like ghost stories, you can head over there. I would love that. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. I hope that you enjoyed that episode. Let me know your thoughts about all those stories. And also, if you have any nice advice for the advice segment, obviously that is always much appreciated. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
My merch is out. Yeah, but this is it. And this comes in pink, black, and white. If you want to get a little cute piece of merch, go grab one. Link is in the description to purchase.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.